backup for Brandon Johnson.
I love what I'm seeing out of Zach Wilson, Jason.
I mean, he has both receivers. Up top, Dorsett's open. Down the bottom, Johnson's open. It's almost like pick your poison. He's able to hit Johnson because the safety's leaned over to the middle right there. And that's a really good decision and good throw by Zach Wilson.
Here's Watson trying to get in the end zones. Still going. Get the whistle. Great effort by Blake Watson, the native of Queens, New York.
Blake Watson tried everything on this run. I mean, he gets a handoff. He's got pressure right away. He goes with, nails it through a tackle. Then he puts his shoulder down. It's too much red there for him to ultimately get into the end zone. But what an effort! They really like this kid. I mean, $275,000 is his salary. It's guaranteed. So they paid him the most out of any of these free agents, and that's why he's getting a lot of burn. They're letting him prove himself.
Wilson's trying to do it himself, and he's in. Touchdown, Zach Wilson.
Good for Zach. He deserved that.
Another touchdown scoring drive led by Zach Wilson.
Yeah, this is that cover two hole beater. Stored right between the corner and the safety. Get him down to the 2-yard line and call your own number. Or Sean Payton called your number.
Either way, it works.
Right.
On that drive, Wilson had 63 yards passing and the rushing touchdown. And the extra point by Will Lutz is good with 13 seconds left in the quarter. That's something you did not see a lot of in New York. Zach Wilson smiling.
Well, he's achieving right now. And he's being celebrated, and he should. He had a couple of iffy decisions. No harm, no foul. But since those, he's been exceptional.
And to your point, Tiki, in New York, you saw glimpses where he'd have a really good game, and you sit there and say, well, this is the Zach Wilson that they must be seeing at moments in practice. This preseason, though, it's been consistent of him being able to move this offense. And Peyton has said that as much as he's marveled about Bo Nix and what he's been able to do, Stidham has thrown 2 interceptions. One went off of Samaje Perine's hands into a Colts defender. Second one was tipped up by a defensive lineman and was intercepted. But all 3 of these quarterbacks have moved the offense down the field in the preseason and have put points on the board. And as an offensive coordinator, head coach, that's what you're asking these guys to do, score points, and they've been able to do that.
Celebrating what Zach Wilson just did. And you think about Zach Wilson, he is 6 months older than Bo Nix. I mean, you think about Zach Wilson, he's been in the league for 3 years, 33 NFL.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You think about Jarrett Stidham's only 28. Webb, the QB coach, he's 29. Yeah. That's a very young quarterback.
Big decisions coming for Sean Payton, general manager George Payton, how they go about putting the roster together. Remember, Tuesday, 4 o'clock Eastern time, rosters have to get down to 53, and then the next day, filling your 16-player practice squad. And the decision of 2 or 3 quarterbacks. Do you risk cutting a Zach Wilson? And if you do keep Wilson, what other position gets impacted where you have to cut someone now? Is Ritter tosses an English was behind the intended target, Palmer.
And as you talk about that cut down day, and it's such a tough day throughout the NFL because you're talking about 1,000 players all being released, and you mentioned the practice squad. The crazy thing is that'll happen on Tuesday, and there'll be guys that get released that other teams decide, you know what, we watched film on this guy, we want him in our building, and they'll claim him, and now initially thought he made the 53-man roster will now be released because another guy was claimed to being brought on the team. So it's a tough time for a lot of these guys out here who are fighting for their livelihood.